Hi, everyone. Be doing the filing fundamentals for the 940 and the 941 returns. My name is Andy King. I've been a developer here with Green Shades for the past 7 years. And what we're going to be covering today is an overview of the key tax returns due at year end and cover common pitfalls and important filing deadlines and how we at Green Shades can help you efficiently manage these tax returns. Just as a disclaimer, this is not going to be any formal legal advice. You should always consult your local counsel, as well as your organization's legal and accounting teams. Our purpose here is to provide a high-level overview of these year-end forms processes and how Green Shades can help you with those. We at Green Shades partner with my HR counsel to provide customers with affordable online and on-demand legal advice. Understanding year-end payroll returns. What are they? Which ones are due at the end of the year? To start off with is the quarterly return for federal withholding, the Form 941. It is done quarterly. However, that will line up with the end of the year. It's used to report income taxes, Social Security tax, Medicare tax that is withheld from employees' paychecks, and to report any payments made so you can determine the balance due or any refund owed to you. Part of what we call the 94X family is the Form 940, the annual return for federal unemployment tax, also known as FUTA. Together with the state unemployment tax systems, it provides funds for paying unemployment compensation to workers who have lost their jobs. The state returns that go with it goes by quite a few names, but some of them are state unemployment insurance, or SUI, reemployment tax, or just by unemployment. Most employers are going to pay to both the federal and the state unemployment tax system, with those funds coming from the employers themselves and not being withheld or deducted from the employees' wages. Another annual return is going to be the Form 8027. It's used mostly by large food and beverage employers to report tips and receipts and to calculate the allocated tips for those tip staff. One of the big ones is the Form W-2, which is for federal, state, and even local wage and tax withholding. As an employer, if you pay remuneration of $600 or more annually, or any amount of income, Social Security, or Medicare tax was withheld, then you're obligated to file a W-2 form for each employee. Employers have to have that filed by January 31st with the SSA. If needed, a 30-day extension can be secured by submitting a Form 8809. So, common errors and pitfalls. These are going to be coming from the IRS for 2024 filing year. Let's see how we can avoid some of these common pitfalls, make the process go a little bit smoother for you. So these are the rule numbers from the IRS and the percentage at which they were rejected. Some of these can be a little dense, but the gist of them is that the first one is here is that the EIN and the name control for a business that they have on file with the Business Master File, or BMF, has to match. This is going to prevent any businesses from accidentally filing for incorrect EIN of another business. The second one here is that the EIN has to not have been previously reported for a given quarterly period. This is relevant to the 941. You have to file 941X corrections in the event that there's a problem, but you can't file two originals for the same company. For Green Shades to worry about on your behalf is that the reporting agent PIN and the return header has to match the data on file with the e-file database. And then finally, similar to the second one here is that the TIN and the return header cannot have been previously filed for an annual period. They really, really don't like double filing. Some common mistakes that the IRS points out is assuming that line one represents the total count of employees paid during the quarter, and reading closely in the instructions in the form itself, it should only reflect the number of employees paid for the specific pay period encompassing the 12th day of the third month of the quarter. So that last month, people who worked in the period that crosses over the 12th, those are the ones we want to count. Second here is claiming any credits without verifying eligibility. A lot of these credits have gone away now with the changes from COVID, kind of slowly expiring. The IRS always encourages you to ensure you qualify for these desired credits prior to completing the 941. And finally, the misuse of line 7 for adjustments other than for rounding. The line 7 current quarter's adjustment for fractions of cents is solely for rounding employee share of Social Security and Medicare taxes. It can be positive or negative, but just the ones that result from rounding down individual line items. As before, you can't file more than one original, but you can make corrections to the Form 941 using the 941X. You first will identify errors on the previously filed form, use this to correct them on a line-by-line basis, and then you file a distinct Form 941X for every Form 941 that you need to correct. Typically, I'll submit it separately from the 941. However, there are exceptions, including if employees were mistakenly treated as non-employees, you may need to file Form 941X alongside the 941, and that's going to be on line 42 of the Form 941X, and there's more instructions there on their official instruction document. Unlike the Form 941X, the Form 940 itself is used to file corrections for it. There's a checkbox to indicate an amended return, and that can be used to correct any problems that there may be with the first form that was submitted. One of the big things that we have here at GreenShades is consideration for compliance. You don't have to navigate compliance changes alone. We're here by your side. Number one problem with compliance is deadlines. Form 940 is due on January 30 or by January 31st. Form 8027 is going to be due by February 29th if you file by mail, or by March 31st if you file electronically. W-2 forms are also due January 31st. And Form 941 has its deadlines. They are generally due the last day of the month following the end of the quarter. So first quarter going to be due April 30th, second, July 31st, third quarter by October 31st, fourth by January 31st. And that's a big part of where we come in is the role of tax software in process to reduce manual labor and the risk of rejection by automating the process. So to assist with tax filings and payments, we have a couple different products. The Tax Filing Center here, you see, it allows you to sync information so that you can generate totals and e-files for any number of federal, state, and local returns. There are various supported filing period lengths, such as weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually, new hire, unemployment, withholding types, as well as others. You have access to a wide library of reports critical for filing, and it helps to simplify the process of building tax returns. You can track filing status for any returns that we submit on your behalf, and you can see a history of returns generated to keep track of past periods for your records, along with our exceptional customer service from a team of tax experts. Similarly to the Tax Filing Center, we have Payroll Tax Service, and it's similar to Tax Filing Center, but it adds in a dedicated tax expert to help with anything, and it provides you with a to-do list of upcoming returns and payments. You have the same access to a wide library of reports, but it's an even simpler process for tax returns and payments because they are transmitted to appropriate federal and state agencies on your behalf. Local returns and payments can also be generated to simplify your submitting them to agencies. And you can track the status of returns and payments and review your history as well. The filing process looks a little bit like this. You will begin by reviewing a list of totals. You'll have access to an advanced editor to make any adjustments that you need to correct the information and make it 100% accurate, and to make payments in the payroll tax service specifically. You'll begin by looking at the payment amount. This is typically broken down by multiple subtypes if there are any relevant. You'll choose the bank account that you want to take the funds from. You can schedule things for future dates, or you can indicate that you've already taken care of it yourself, which does happen sometimes. Once you submit it through payroll tax service, from that point on, it's going to be handled for you. Also on this screen, you'll have the year-to-date reconciliation so that you can look at the liabilities for the year, any payments that you've already made, including the payment that you're about to make, and make sure that things line up throughout the year. So just to wrap everything up, you can stay compliant with our experts using our experience to easily navigate year-end filing and quarterly filing as well, with compliance updates to ensure timely and accurate submissions. The goal is to simplify a very complex process of the 940s, 941s, as well as other tax filings, with a step-by-step wizard to reduce the manual effort and minimize any errors. Along with this, you can tackle year-end forms with green shades, including the W-2, the 1099 family, 1095s for your ACA, and many more returns. And Green Shade's platform includes payroll, human resources, benefits administration, taxes and compliance, and as well as time and labor management. I'd like to thank you for coming.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Our contact information is on the screen if you would like to see a personalized demo or if you have any questions. Thank you, everybody.